Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Talk Show. This is your host, Rian Opson, and we're doing the crucial NFP number that will be announced at 2:30 South African time. Look, this number is before the FOMC meeting where they will discuss, obviously, the tapering situation or the timeline of the situation. But the main issue is if this data come out bad today, will the FOMC meeting or Jerome Powell, will he actually extend or maybe slow down tapering, or maybe will he have a sharp tapering? That is the big issue, because you must remember today's NFP number is actually in the mandate, or I would say employment numbers is in the mandate of the Federal Reserve, where they say maximum employment and price stability, which is inflation. So if this number creates any doubt today, that will actually send the dollar actually to its knees, because then the market is not sure of what will the Federal Reserve will do, whether it will start to taper or whether they will actually delay the whole entire tapering. I will just be back.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Welcome back to Bull Market Talk Show. This is your host, Rian Opson, and this is before the NFP number, which will be at 2:30 later today. And honestly, I'm actually looking at NFP that it will be a terrible number. I will share my data with you of why I think the NFP number will be actually another big miss. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Please click like and leave your comments, leave your questions, and there's a link below. Click on it, register on markets.com, fund your account with $250, and I will give you actually free classes. Now, the thing is with the whole entire NFP number, and I'm sure you guys are focusing, look, honestly, there is a massive focus on this number today, because this number, if it comes out bad, look, I think the dollar will actually go in a sell mode that we will never see before. Look, I will actually just share my screen with you. This is actually data that I actually compiled. This was now from the ISM manufacturing number that actually came out this week. It's a very important number, and it shows actually that the ISM manufacturing did increase, but there was some serious hole in this data. It's a big file actually, but I just cut out things for you. If you look at the manufacturing PMI, this is now compared to July and August. July looks like at 5.9. 59.5 and then 59.9. So there's an uptick in the manufacturing data if you look at it, fine enough. But my focus was on the employment. This is where the big story come in, and that will actually be for today. In July, it was 52.9, and then we have here a 49.0. Now, very importantly, when they calculate these numbers, and this report is coming from the manufacturing ISM report, but if I look, it's actually these people are doing the study on actually the manufacturing data. Just can't get to the name now. But the thing is that if this number comes out 49, which means it is in contraction territory, it contract. So the employment contract. It's not above 50. Anything above 50 means that there's expansion. Anything below 50 means that there is a contraction. So there's a contraction in actually in employing people. Now, there's various other reasons why we have a contraction in the United States. And I saw in Britain as well, there is a shortage of labor. Now, obviously, people give a lot of reasons for that. One, it is the employment benefits that is extended, and it will end in September. I think it will end this month or next month. I'm just not sure about that. That is maybe one of the reasons. That's why people don't want to go for a job. On the other part is the wages. The wages is low and inflation is high. So what is the use to go work when inflation is high and your wages is not good? you could have just as well stayed at home. So there's a lot of question marks actually that goes around the numbers, the employment data in the United States. Also, very importantly, it was the big number on Wednesday. Wednesday's number was also a big miss on the ADP non-farm payrolls. It was projected over 600,000 jobs. It came out about 300,000, I think 380,000. Now, if you look at this data here, this is now small business, medium, and then you have large. Now, the number came out at, I think it was, 374,000. That was the amount. Now, if you compare these two sectors together, then you'll get to about 370 odd numbers. So that is what they actually put out for us. Now, the biggest employer was the service providing sector. For me, that is actually quite strange, because you would expect goods producing sector would actually be the number that will be much higher, because there has enormous, or in the United States, there's an enormous supply constraint. So obviously they need to produce stuff, they need to transport stuff and all of those things. So we would expect that this number would have been actually higher up. On the other side, there's an oil shortage. You would expect that the oil rigs would have come up and they would have actually created a job, but that's not the case. You would expect your construction would have been up because there is a property boom there. That is not the case. The biggest employer actually here is actually leisure and hospitality. Nearly half of the number, basically over half of the ADP number comes from the leisure and hospitality. Obviously, there's a lot of money in the United States. People go out and obviously they go on holidays and all of those things. So they were the biggest drivers of that ADP number. And it did not come from this part, which is the producing sector. So obviously, if you look at the wages need to increase, and you will see a lot of photos that goes around of a lot of memes that people wants to hire, but nobody actually want to go and work. There's also in this statistic, if you go and read the whole entire, if you read the whole entire file, it's quite a large file, then you will actually hear that the people were complaining about, one, they don't get people with enough skills to operate machines. That was one. There was also another where they said that there's a supply strain where the goods is not coming to the United States. There's a shortage of products. There's a shortage of chips. It's a lot of shortage that is actually go on. And that actually also lead to a shortage of labor, because the price of labor needs to increase. And obviously, that leads to actually higher production costs, because now the products have to cost more. There is enormous amount of problems in the United States when it comes to labor. And due to all these problems, I can't see actually how they're going to create 720,000 jobs. I just can't see it. But well, we need to look at the number at 2:30. But from what I read and what I saw, I don't think so. I think we will have a big miss today. Maybe 400,000 jobs or maybe 200,000 jobs. But definitely, I don't think that we will get 720,000 jobs, which is actually the prediction for today's NFP number. All the best with the NFP today. And look, if the number come out bad, I think we will have a heavy sell-off. If the number come out good, I think the market will start to prepare that Federal Reserve will actually now start with tapering much faster. But as the data shows for now, it doesn't look good at all. That's it from my side. I will see you guys on Monday at 1 o'clock, and then we will see what is the outcome of this NFP number. Have a lovely week.